guys, well, you just saw Paul and Bethany tear down the chicken coop that was on the new property when we bought it, that used to sit right here. So I want to walk through the area and just make sure that we are updating you as big changes like this happen. When we're done with this though, we are going to head to the greenhouse and we're going to start our onions from seed. So if you want to fast forward to that part of the video, we will put the time signature on the screen. I can't even believe how quickly they got this done. And you guys, it didn't even take them a full day to do this. They are such hard workers, so major shout out to Paul and Bethany for all the hard work that they do around here. Just amazing. I do think Paul had a good time tearing this down though, because he said he was able to dismantle it just enough to where he was able to pick up big sections of it with the tractor and put it on a trailer. So it wasn't like every little part and piece had to be individually taken off, which would have taken a while, but it was interesting some of the things that they were running into. So there were some white vinyl edging pieces around the outer part that were taken. You can see a few things that are still here, like this water, which this is not active. There's no water to this. I think we're going to abandon it, so we'll just cut all of that off. There are some like tarp sticking out and landscape fabric, which we are going to have Chad come in here because there are some things that we couldn't do. We don't have the equipment to tear up this concrete, and Chad does. He can get this done super fast. So when he's here to do the concrete removal here, he's also going to remove a concrete pad that's over there and the berm right in here. It's just like a very small like berm island in the grass. So when he comes from that, we'll probably ask him to remove the gravel here, and then you know, the landscape fabric and tarp will be a lot easier to access. There is a huge stump right in the middle where a tree used to exist, and I wondered, just because I hadn't really inspected it closely, if it was truly a tree that was here or if somebody just set a stump in here, but truly is a tree that was here. But I think this would look so cool if we could cut it off and go place it by the pond somewhere, because it's like a perfect little table, little platform, and it's got the same kind of vibe as our other one that we have over there. So I want to think about that. And there's also a bunch of pavers that have been gathered up from multiple locations. These are actually going to Bethany's house, which makes me so happy to hear. In fact, we try to repurpose anything that still has some use. So when Paul and Bethany loaded all the stuff onto trailers, they kind of had it separated, and they took a bunch of scrap metal to a scrapyard. And I think Paul even took a picture of that great big magnet that comes and picks it all up and unloads your trailer for you. And then anything else that was reusable or had some use still left in it, found a new home. But while the sun is behind a cloud, I want to show you what all the angles of this space looks like. I just love to see it gone. It just opens it up. You can see the barn right there, and I'll rotate to the left, and you can see that we have a nice open view to the court area. I also want to show you the view from when you're standing near the pond. Pond is right there. And as we look toward the barn, just a nice open view. I just am loving it. It's interesting how our thought process or our plans have changed just a little bit, even since just finalizing the purchase of this property. At first I thought, well, this is mostly going to just all be pasture back here and the other piece. I think it's just going to be the other piece that will primarily be pasture area. And we've got some other ideas to develop this space into more of an activity sort of area, because you know, we've got the basketball court here, which we are keeping. We are going to have a fence put around it, and we're going to grow vines over the fence, so in the end you won't even really see this area, and in the end you won't really see to where the chicken coop was either. But having that gone and then slowly removing the other stuff, we'll be able to develop this space with some other things, which is kind of to be determined at the moment. We've just talked about lots of different options and haven't really landed on anything solid yet. But I do want to show you in this red barn, because you know, we've decided to use this as storage for now, and it's looking really, really great. Paul's been moving stuff in there from the other barn, kind of just opening things up, and we can actually access a lot more than we used to, because everything is such a cluster in our other barn. We were running out of space. Our little blue spruces are doing good. Okay, to the left. Remember when we were in here cleaning this out? I'm glad we did that, because that allowed for a lot of things. So we had a big pile of concrete behind the barn, and these raised bed planters, which I use from time to time. We kind of cycle in and out. And then we've got some other containers back in here, our bigger carts, so we can easily access them. We can get them in and out. I can easily get to the pots, each one of them. We did pull a golf cart in here. And then in this stall, We've got our 2 smaller carts and then a bunch of steaks. You guys know how hard it is to organize steaks nicely. You know, you need a lot of wall space. And now, like, there's some things that I didn't even realize, like, I forgot we had just because they were in a pile. So I'm just so thankful to see all of these things looking so good and so organized. And we don't have anything in the back 2 stalls yet. I'm just really happy with how things are shaping up out here. It's so much fun. Okay, it is onion planting time now. We're starting 3 different varieties of onion this year, 3 of which I always start every single year. Occasionally I will throw a new variety in. I grew maybe 5 varieties last year, but these are the 3 best for us here. We've got Walla Walla, Yellow Sweet Spanish, and Candy. I've got my tags all made. These are the cell packs we're going to be growing them in. This is our tray. This is an 11 by 22, which has been well loved. In fact, you can see, like, from the hard water spots right here, that's where I've popped holes in them. Because we're going to be leaving these out in the greenhouse, I want the tray to drain, and it's okay because the floor's gravel in here. I would not do that for a tray I was leaving inside because I would want to protect my surface wherever I was sitting it. I have a humidity dome. We will leave this on until they germinate, and I do plan to pop these on a heat mat because it does get down to 50 in here at night, and while onions will germinate at that temperature, their ideal temperature is like 75. So while we wouldn't need to really run it during the day, I think it'll be helpful at night to get them going. A couple of things to know about onions. If you are planting them from seed, you want to do that about 8 to 10 weeks before your average last frost date. I usually go a little bit before then because I like to plant mine out early. They're a super tough crop and one of the first ones that I start from seed inside. There are 3 different ways of planting onions, and there's pros and cons to each one of them, and I've planted them all 3 ways. So the first way is from seed, like we're doing today. The positive part about that is that you have so many more options when it comes to variety, and there's so many neat varieties out there, and so you can choose whatever it is that you want, and you know exactly what has been done to your seeds. You know what kind of soil you're using, what kind of fertilizers, all those sorts of things you're in control of, and that's really positive. The con to that is that it's just a little bit more time and effort involved on your part to get them from seed to, you know, ready to plant outside. You can also plant them out from small plants that you've picked up down at your garden center where somebody else has grown them on to that stage for you. In that case, you don't have as much choice in the way of variety, and I mean, you can buy organic starts if you want, but you don't really know exactly what's happened from beginning to end with that seedling. The other way you can plant them is by sets or bulbs, and you usually get those in a bag down at your garden center. The thing about onion plants is that they are a biennial, so when you're planting those little bulbs, you're planting a plant in its 2nd year. So you're usually not going to get as big of a bulb because in that 2nd year, they're going to be focusing their energy on flowering and producing seeds so they can continue on their life. But they are very convenient, and usually anything that you plant from a set is a good type of storing onion. They always store well for me. The one other thing about onions that I found helpful when I was just learning is knowing that onion bulbing, the forming of the bulb, is triggered by day length, or the amount of hours of sunshine that your plant receives. And there's 3 different categories for onions. There's day neutral or intermediate onions. That's one category. There's short day, and then there's long day. Long day onions need 14 to 16 hours of sunshine in order to form up nice big bulbs. That's usually a northern sort of climate, zone 6 or lower. Perfect for our area because we have super long, bright sunny days. The day neutral are like a zone 5 to 7 onion, and they need about 12 to 14 hours of sunshine. And short day onions need about 10 to 12 hours of sunshine, really good for southern climates like zone 7 through 11. The nice part is usually whatever garden center you're going to, they're going to be carrying varieties that are appropriate for your area. So not something super worrisome, but it's just kind of nice to know that so you can pick out the proper variety, especially if you're buying seed for your area. Do you want to try a radish? A radish? Yeah. You want to try one? Yeah. Okay. Little update on our radish crop here. Come here, Samantha. What? Do you want to pick one and try? I'm going to pick this one right here. Oh, it's beautiful. Now let me clean the soil off for you. French breakfast radish. Good. You like it? Yeah. You can eat the whole thing all the way up to the green. This is the cutest thing.
Yeah, this is the tiniest one.
Yeah. Yum, yum. Oh yeah, look at these. They are just beautiful. So I'm going to spread these out in our tray, and my plan is to do 6 6-packs of the candies, 3 of the yellow sweet Spanish, and 3 6-packs of the Walla Wallas. I plan on putting about 5 to 6 seeds per cell. These 2 were unpelletized seed. These are pelleted, so I'll probably put more than 6 in. See how they have like that white clay around them, as opposed to like a regular onion seed, which looks like that, which is great if you're picking them up in the current growing season that you're planting them in. If you have them saved from another year, like I do mine right here, then the shelf life goes down on pelletized seeds. So I'm going to probably plant 10 seeds in each cell just to make sure I have enough come up. Okay, we need our potting tray and probably some more soil. I don't think that'll do it. Little seed starting mix here.
Help with your garden.
You want to help with my garden? Okay. Yeah. We're going to get it all wet, and then you can mix it with your hands. Usually there's air bubbles in there. Okay, so we've got to pre-moisten our seed starting mix. There's the air bubbles. Woo! You got that on me, look. Don't try to get it on me. The goal is to get it to where it holds together when you squeeze it, but you can squeeze it really hard and no water comes out of it. It's perfect. Okay, so now we have to fill up all of our packs. So we go, boop. We want to do leave a 1/4 inch lip so we can just put some new soil over the top of all the onion seeds. I think that'll be just about perfect right there.
Let's do that.
Do you like onions? Yeah. Do you?
See?
Do you like, what's your favorite vegetable? Are they tomatoes?
Yeah.
Yeah, you love tomatoes. And beans. You're a big bean fan. Ready? Watch. Yeah. Okay, now let's see.
Let's do that one.
We ended up with a lot of soil, didn't we? Oh, those look perfect, babe. Good job. Now let's pack them in. See what we got. Okay, now we gotta rinse our hands and put seeds in these. Do you want to help me with that? Yeah. Okay. It's chilly, huh? Okay. I'm sorry. We're going to just do 2 of them to start with.
I'll do it.
Can you put this tag right here? Good job. Okay, Samantha, I'm going to show you how to do one of them first.
I do it? I do it?
So we just want to spread a bunch in each cell.
It dropped it.
I know. We kind of want to use these up. We'll give away the rest of the seeds to somebody who could maybe use some of these, because it'll be even worse germination next year.
Let's get more.
Okay.
Let's get more.
I think that's perfect. Now we got to do our next one, babe, which is, let's do some Walla Wallas. So stick the tag right there. Stick it all the way. There we go. Sprinkle just a few. Okay.
Let's do the next one.
We're going to have onions coming out of our ears. So this one, stick the tag right there. Push it all the way down. Okay, you can do these 2. 1, 2. Okay, that's it. Now we need to get some more soil.
More soil.
Yes, ma'am. Let's move these.
More soil.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put a little bit more soil on top of each one, very gently, okay? Slowly and gently. We're gonna cover over these seeds. We only wanna be a 1/4 inch, like that. And then we'll mist these to settle them all in. Okay. Okay, gently again. Good girl. Doing a great job. Okay, I'm gonna take the soil. All right, we've got our Mesto sprayer here.
Wow, it looks good.
It does, doesn't it? Okay, you ready? We're just giving these a good mist to settle them in. We don't need to fully drench them because the soil has been pre-moistened. That's one of the reasons for pre-moistening your soil. Keeps all the seeds in place. We'll probably have just as many onions as we grow every year due to the sheer volume of seeds that went into this tray. Oh, I think you did it. That's done. You gonna put the lid on it? So this is called a humidity dome, and that'll help keep in moisture and heat until all the seeds germinated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all done. Can I have a high five? Yeah, good job.
Now we can walk to the people and give this to her.
Who?
To the people.
What people do you want to give it to?
I want to give it to a friend.
That's a good idea. Maybe we'll grow them first and then we can give them to friends.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Let's give them to the boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go.
And here they are sitting on their heat mat. And like I said, they're just going to be on the heat mat until they germinate. Same with the humidity dome. So the humidity dome will come off and the heat mat will turn off at about the same time once we start seeing a pretty solid amount of green in here, which should be a lot. We should see a lot of green in here. The one other thing about onions that I didn't mention before is once they're up and growing, you can top them. You can keep trimming them and keep them about 3 or so inches long. So if you plant them a little bit early, or if the weather just doesn't warm up when you think it is going to warm up and you need to keep them inside for a little while longer, you can trim them. And oftentimes when you pick them up at a garden center, you'll notice that the tops are trimmed already, and that doesn't make any difference. I mean, when you do that, it will send a little bit more energy into the roots of the plants, and ideally you're planting them within that 8 to 10 week time frame period so that they're really easy to take apart when you're ready to plant them. But I've always had pretty good luck starting them in seed trays like this. So anyway, I'm looking forward to this year's harvest. It should be fun. What'd you find? Oh, thank you. Thank you. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.